Okay, this next session, we're going to discuss vApply HDs and kind of some of their inner workings, and then transition over to the test stand. We'll show the new Liquid Max test stand they came out with for specifically testing the liquid products. So I first want to start here, if you can zoom in, Clint, on these. We've got a regular HD here and a HD Flex module here. And so just real briefly, the difference is you can see that it has an extra plug here, this blue plug. So the Flex module would give it the capabilities of going to a side rest bar or a sprayer potentially if you weren't applying too high volume. And so it has an SRM built into it that serves as an SRM when you are on a side rest bar, for example, or a strip till bar. When you move this Flex module to the planter, it no longer operates as an SRM, it just operates as a simple HD. But in the side rest or strip till bar situation, this blue plug would come out and you would use this as a SRM as well. So on the planter, they just operate as a liquid module. Both of them would be universal with each other. You could swap them out like that. So I drew an internal just to kind of give a little diagram of what these HDs are. So here I drew on the paper the inner workings of an HD. So it would sit on your planner like this, and I wrote a note up here that they are directional, meaning that they have to be within 5 degrees of level for them to work correctly when they're installed and running on the planner. So mark real quick here. So your liquid is coming in on the bottom, and this is a flow meter. We call this the total flow meter, so I'll write TF here. And then that's a turbine, and that's an accessible part. You can replace that if it gets jammed or broke. Then the liquid has 2 channels. It normally comes up this way, and this is the low flow meter. The liquid will go through the low flow and then out the exit. This motor in here, this 12-volt motor, has a ball valve on the top of it, and I'm going to write that 25, and we'll see later that this comes to be important. The commanded ball position and the actual ball position. This 25 is kind of a magic number. When this ball position is at -6, that's off, and 75 is wide open. Why they didn't make it 0 and 100, I have no idea. That would be way too easy to remember. But it's -6 is off, maybe -5, -6 is off, and 75 is wide open. So when this ball position gets to 25, as long as it's below 25, this is the path of the fluid, going past the total flow, past the low flow, and out. Once it gets to 25, this ball has an opening that starts to accept liquid through this high flow channel, and the liquid will be coming actually through both channels at the same time, coming together and then out. So you'll see where this 25, and we run some scenarios on the test stand, where you can still operate, depending on your rate and speed. If you have a blocked low flow sensor or a blocked total flow sensor, will still allow you to operate, and it all serves around this 25% magic number.
All right, so in this picture, you can see the arrow of flow. So my inlet, as Aaron just spoke about, this is the total flow turbine that's inside of here. And we'll just pop this collet off. And inside, we take this little tool that comes in your base kit, and there's a little O-ring in there that we're going to pull out. And then inside of there, we've got our total flow turbine right here. So this little guy sometimes can get plugged up, and as we'll walk through in the diagnostics here in a little bit, really just washing this thing off with some warm water and soap. Do not blow on it. You don't use compressed air on it. Just a light washing, and that should clean up pretty easily.
I'll also mention these are white. The early ones, I believe, were either black or brown.
They're black.
And those, if you have brown black ones, they should be discarded and use these white ones. And also, you're not going to see it in the video here, but they are directional. So there's a little arrow on there, and that's the way that you insert it in, you know, the direction of flow. So we'll just slide that little guy back in. These Deutsch tools, this is actually a Deutsch connector tool. You can buy them on Amazon or eBay. It has a little hook on the end, which you could make out of a screwdriver if you wanted to grind that on there your own. But that little hook is really, really handy for servicing these HDs. So we'll just put that back together and then move on to the low flow here in a second.
All right, now we're going to break open the top of the body assembly. This is this piece right here, screwed down with these 4 screws. It's called the valve body. We're going to pop these 4 screws out. To access our low flow turbine and along with our motor. Now when you pull these apart, they come together. Sometimes they come apart harder than others. Be careful not to get fertilizer into this motor cavity. When you pull that apart, there's going to be fertilizer in the channels, and don't drip it into that motor cavity, or there's a rusty day coming. So inside this little chamber here, you'll see a little. This is the low flow turbine, and it's seated in there that you'll, pardon me, there's actually a flat back on it